Hi guys, once again today I come your way with a lot of speculation about poultry farming, the cost involved in rearing poultry farming. I know we've been taking you through the series of how to start a poultry farm, the cost involved in building the pen, and today I want to bring your way the cost of rearing poultry farming for the first month. As we are already in our second month, we want to share our experience in terms of things we needed before we started, how much it cost us within the 1 month experience as a Hi guys, welcome back once again. So as I said earlier on, today we are taking a break from the cattle farm and bringing you an experience from the poultry farm. Please pardon me if the noise at the background is disturbing, but I hope it is not over my voice, because we do play the music to entertain the chicken and get them active so that outside noises doesn't disturb them whilst they are eating. So bear with me as I take you through today our 1 month experience and cost analysis in starting a poultry farm. Before you start your poultry farm and before you bring your birds in, I bet you already have your pen. Whether you're starting a 1,000 capacity poultry farm or you're doing a 2,000 capacity just like us. Today I'm going to share our budget with you 1 month into rearing 2,000 poultry. Right? So once you have your pen, there are a few things that you will need. Things like your feeders, some materials, your drinkers. And I want to share that experience with you. So I'm going to start by taking you through some materials that we needed in the beginning before we even brought the chickens in. So let's start with the material. So the first one is the black rubber. So mostly masons do use this rubber to cover their bricks and so on. Give me a second, let's check out this audio. If the radio at the background is very disturbing, then we might change our location. It doesn't seem that bad, so we're going to continue from this same position, and I hope it works with you from wherever you're watching us from as well. As I said, we're going to start from some materials that we purchased before even bringing the pens in. And as I was saying, the rubber, black rubber bag, which mostly masons use to cover their bricks or blocks when it's raining. That rubber bag, we bought a quantity of 25. We use that during the early stage, the first day when the birds are out, to cover part of the pen to be able to produce heat. So if you're looking at a 10,000 capacity bird, then you're looking at probably about 22, 23 of those. We would use it for 2,000 birds. So we bought 25 and one cost 10 cedis. So we spent 250 Ghana cedis on that. And then we went to the heat pots. So it depends how you're brooding your chicks, whether you're using some form of electric heat or you're using the local pot, which you're going to put fire in. We use the local one, and that we bought about 4 of them and spent about 120 on that. We also bought 2 shovels, which we'll be using to scoop their food and so on. So those are some of the materials that we bought. We spent 40 cedis on that. We bought some slippers for the chicken pen, those little details, so that nobody and the caretakers as well do not bring in their shoes and stuff from outside. So the moment they enter the poultry pen, they have a slippers in. That is about 60 Ghana cedis. And then we bought a weighing scale to be able to weigh their food. So if you want to maize with soya beans, there is a ratio that you need to weigh them. So we got the scale as well for I think 150 cedis. So in general, materials that we bought before the chicken even arrived in the first month cost us 650 cedis. So 650 cedis. Then we went to the most important thing, which is the feeders and drinkers. So feeders, I think we want to show you a little bit of what we bought. So we got these yellow feeders here. As you can see them from the video. So the yellow ones that they are eating from it right now, we actually bought 40 of those for the 2,000 capacity pen, right? And one was 7 cedis. So we spent about 280 on those feeders. Let me talk about the drinkers as well. So the drinkers are the white and red ones that you see that they are drinking from. So we bought 10 of those in the beginning, in the first month, and we spent about 140 from that as well. So that is basically the drinkers and feeders, right, in total. Let's go to feeding. I know feeding is one thing that most people are very worried about, because we all know that chickens eat a lot. You spend so much on their feeding. So I'll take you through their feeding. So we started with a starter that is called kujis. So we bought small size of the kujis. We used 4 bags in a month. So don't forget, this analysis is the first month into poultry farming. Mostly it's very good if you're able to save some money and plan ahead for about a month or 2 before you even bring your chicks in, so that you have that money down, right? So I'm giving you this an idea. If you're thinking about going into a poultry farm, after you build your pen, how much do you need to save for the first 1 month? And once you have that money down, then you can start working for the next month. So that's the purpose of this video, and that's why I'm taking you through this analysis, right? So feeding, we use kujis for their first week and second week, and we use 4 bags of those. 1 bag of kujis is 140, so we use about 560 Ghana cedis on that. And then after about 2 weeks, we went to the big kujis. So the big kujis, we use 4 bags and spend about 1,040 Ghana cedis on that. And then maize, in the course of 1 month, they ate 4 bags of maize, which is 200 Ghana cedis. Depending if you're able to plan ahead and buy maize during the plentiful season, then you'll be able to buy them very cheap and reduce this cost. But if you're buying them at this time, then the price is 200 Ghana cedis. So the total we spend on feeding for 1 month is 2,400. 2,400 on feeding alone. Then we come to medicine, right? So there's a lot of medicines that we apply. The antibiotics, the sulfur, the glucose, vitamins, like Aptocos, like so many different medicines. But the total in terms of medicine is 2,120. So as you can see, medicine is very vital point. It's almost the same as their feeding cost, right? So not all the expenses are on feeding, but also just to keep them healthy as well. Then we have vaccination. So vaccinations, so Kumboro, the HB1, Kumboro second, all these are vaccinations to prevent the diseases that are common in Ghana here. I don't know which side you are. If you're in another African country or watching me from Europe, there might be different diseases that you have to vaccinate them against. But here we're doing Kumboro, we're doing the HB1 at this stage. So in the first month we do Kumboro, HB1, we did Kumboro number 2, and then we do Lasota. So Lasota is the last medication that we gave in the first month. And all these 4 vaccinations amounted to 415 Ghana cedis. 415 Ghana. It is very vital that you follow. I mean, the veterinary will give you a chart, but it's very vital that you follow these steps and do not miss your your medication or your vaccination. And then we go to some general expenses. So for example, where we are, we don't have electricity, but we have built a plant, a generator that sort of supplies our electricity. So we spend money on like fuel, right? Which depending on where you're located and so on, this might not be a cost to you. We also spend money on charcoal. Also, as I said before, if you're using electricity to provide heat, then you wouldn't need charcoal and the pot. So you reduce money from there. We did spend money on charcoal. We used, I think, 2.5 bags for the first 2-3 weeks that they were in. And remember, this cost is for 2,000 birds. So if you're raising 1,000 birds, you will need to divide it by 2. If you're raising 500 birds, you need to divide it by 4 and get the accurate numbers for yourself, right? And then we have things like transportation. So general expenses cost was around 930 Ghana cedis. So in total, I know if you have your pen and your book, you already have the numbers, but I'm going to share with you for the doubt of those who are watching me from your car, or for an inconvenience you couldn't calculate or capture everything. The total that we spent for the 2,000 birds for the first month is 6,935. 6,935. This includes their medicine, vaccination, feeders, drinkers, general expenses, and so on and so forth, as I've already talked about. So if you're doing 1,000 beds, then you're looking at somewhere around 3,467 for the first month. I hope this gives you an idea in terms of planning. And this month is 4 weeks. Bear in mind that the chicks are going to spend 16 weeks before they start laying eggs. So if you're thinking about going into a poultry farm, then you're thinking about being able to invest money into their feed, vaccination, medicine, and so on for 16 weeks before you see any return on that money. For the first month or first 4 weeks, if we have spent 3,467 on 1,000 birds, then we are going to multiply that by 4, which is 4 weeks times 4 will give you 16 weeks, which is going to be 13,870. 13,870. So if you're thinking about going in for 1,000 chicks to rear them, you're budgeting about 13,870 till you see any return on your money for an amount of 16 weeks. This price might vary, either up or down, depending on your location, depending on some of the facilities that you have, and so on. But just to give you an idea so that you don't go in blind and then end up, regretting or not being very prepared. And that's why I'm sharing all this information with you guys. If you have any question, if you want any details, our WhatsApp number is below. Reach out to me and I'll be able to share more details with you. But I always want us to get access to this information that is so hidden from us, and therefore we are always scared to approach it, or we are unplanned when we are approaching it. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And if you want your friends and family to also know what is going on here, click on the share button, share it on your social media page, and let's get people educated and prepared so that they don't get so scared when they are entering into business because of lack of information. Thank you very much, and my name is Fred, and I hope I always bring you the most informative and educative videos. Stay tuned for our next video next week. Cheers.